For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste.
Welcome to Brand Reaction, episode 2. So today we're going to look at Roger TV's design of, or redesign, I should say, of the Discovery Channel, now called Discovery. So back in the day, the Discovery Channel kind of highlighted space travel and animal habitat type stuff, like, like following lions or following hyenas and telling the stories. I think probably the most popular iteration of that was like March of the Penguins or something that was narrated by Morgan Freeman. So we got Roger TV, and from what it looks like, this firm is mainly in the TV movie space, because they don't only do branding and rebranding, they also do some animation stuff and some film type stuff as well. So the Discovery Channel, man, is interesting because this is a brand that you'll see is moving in a different direction. So it's also a redesign for a global brand. And what I like about this project is that they're trying to design an entire system with the logo, something that could be used in multiple applications, that speaks to multiple people. And when you already have an existing brand and existing logo that uses certain elements, you want to maintain that. I also like the thicker sans serif that they went with. I'm a fan of fonts like Arial Black, League Spartan, Knockout, those kind of thicker weighted sans serif fonts. And I think in television and film, man, you'll notice a lot of companies have those thicker weighted fonts for their wordmark, because if you notice, if you got your logo in the corner of a video or something, you can clearly see that mark no matter what the backdrop of the video may be. So that's my guess as to the functional reason as to why they do that. So you can see that sans serif here. You can see they have, the word mark here kind of filling up the screen. And so that's what I mean by the different applications. They want to experiment with different applications of how they can use this logo. They have this tag right here with the D as the mark. And we'll get to that in a little bit, because I have a theory about that and how they did that. And I'm probably going to share some critique of this the way that y'all are probably expecting me to, because I know y'all probably seeing that globe right now and thinking that it doesn't quite fit. So this is the word mark. This is the icon, same one that was up there in orange. So Discovery, if you don't know, has built on like all the logo iterations have mainly almost always had the globe as a part of the mark. Now, for me, I would have went a little bit more abstract, and I would have made the globe just a circle, and I might have added a splash of green or something in there, or a blue to represent the Earth. I think CGH NYC, that firm, or no, it might have been Collins. I can't remember what firm specifically, but they did a mark for an animal conservancy, and they represented the Earth by just an outline of a circle with a thick line weight that was green, and the water was blue on the bottom, or something like that. And so I might have gone with something like that and explained it to the client, or I would have explained it here in this case study. But to be perfectly honest, with a global brand like this, if you get rid of that Earth, people might not recognize it, because there could be a lot of businesses, a lot of different types of businesses that are called Discovery. It might be an offshore drilling company or something that's called Discovery. It might be a space company that's called Discovery. So, you know, I can see the reason for keeping the globe. My inkling is that as they iterate on this design, and I think sans serif fonts are so modern and so iconic that you can do this, they may move away from that globe and that and having that there. The reason why it's harsh is because the scalability. You scale this down, and even right now, it's looking a little fuzzy because of all the detail with the continents. So they're talking about uniting the world of discovery in terms of the brand and the business and what they have going on. They used Sharp Sans as the font, which I like. I think that it shows up and plays better in the white than it does in the black. But with a font like this, you can get a lot of different colors in there. And a lot of brands now, man, are kind of going with, they might have a primary color scheme, but they're going with logo types that can really be in any color. And when you got a brand that has so many distinct channels and TV shows on it, you want that versatility because those shows might have their own brandscapes. So looking at the color palette, you can see a lot of, blues and terracotta, like, so kind of earthy type stuff. And they're kind of giving them their names that kind of represent, maybe this might help the internal design team decide where they want to place these colors. So Discovery Channel now, man, they make some interesting programming. My mother-in-law, she watches a lot of Discovery, and they have these shows like this gold mining show, and they have like I think there's like an Axeman or something like that where they're cutting down trees for a certain purpose. And so it's a lot of like kind of rugged, rough, earthy, like reminds you of like archaeology type imagery and stuff like that. So I could see why they went with this solar color, that terra color, to represent those shows. So then you can see here you got like a motion graphic going on. And I'm not exactly sure where they're going with this. Maybe somebody could tell me where they're going with this. But I mean, the logo mark itself, you can do a lot with that in terms of motion graphics. Throwing that thing in After Effects, having it, kind of do the curve of the D. That would be an interesting motion, especially if some type of image or video was sliding in with it. And a lot of production type companies and television type companies use motion graphics a lot. So here they're talking about how they're using the D as a frame for certain things, and you'll see that. I guess this tab is probably, or that might represent the D, that kind of block that we were looking at that was in the motion graphic up above. But they're talking about using the D as a frame, and you'll see down lower what that means. But you can see a lot of just mapping of this different iconography that they're using. You see this smaller underline here. And so you're seeing that throughout. Like you can definitely see this all new, the types of messaging they have to give to keep viewers, like when they cut to a commercial or something like that. Of course, now with DVR, you can just fast forward right through that. Me personally, I like looking at commercials. I guess maybe because I'm a designer and I like to see how people are flipping commercials and stuff like that, because when you have a short window of time like that, a lot of times with the budget, you can get really creative. And so I think I like to see some of the stories and how people do that short form. But most people, the only time they watching commercials is at the Super Bowl. So you can just see the iconography and how they're using it here. Like I said, you see with a lot of these thicker sans serif fonts, you see a lot of like going off the frame, cutting through and wrapping around a book or something like that, because the text is so huge and so distinct. You can do stuff like that. Like you have the line weight of that D is so thick that if you put it off the frame, people could still read it and make sense of it. Whereas if it was a thinner line weight, you might mistake it for some other letter or something. Again, this is what I was talking about with the mark being over imagery and videos and stuff like that. With these thicker sans serifs, you can do that, and it pops really well, and you don't have to worry about reducing the opacity on the video, the image, or nothing like that, or messing with it. And having the image come through clear, but also having the messaging and the logo mark come through clear are super important, and why this mark is really good in that respect. So yeah, the Moonshiners one. That's what I was thinking about, and of course, Deadliest Catch. That's been around for a long time, but the Moonshiners one, my mother-in-law watches that one. Them dudes are wild. But yeah, you can see this, and this is what I was talking about, where these different shows are gonna have their own branding. So right here, you have kind of a hand drawn, a brush type script, and you can see that this thicker sans serif is not really going to clash with that. So that's kind of why you do want to go with a thicker sans serif. You do want to go with a simpler mark for companies that are going to have brands underneath as well. One thing that I noticed with this D Go or Discovery Go, I really wish they would have just not curved this arrow, and maybe they might have had to do that for functional reasons, and I would have to like go into Illustrator and look at that, but I wish they would have left it flat and not rounded the corners like that. But yeah, this is that framing. They're using the D as a frame and cutting it in different ways. So this is an interesting project, man. And so I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hit subscribe, hit like. I'm gonna continue to do more of these brand reactions. And I'll see y'all next time. Already.